The following data represent the number of grams of fat in breakfast meals ordered at a local fast food restaurant. In part A, we want to construct an ordered stem and leaf plot, and B, describe the shape of the distribution. Okay, now when you look at the data, okay, these are all whole numbers that they don't have any decimals to the right or to the left. So we're dealing with whole numbers. Now we can construct all the ordered stem and leaf plots. So remember that if we're looking at 0, right, we're going to start with all the single digit numbers that we have here. Well, the first single digit that we have that we can see here starts with 2, and then there's 7, and then there's 8, and then there's 2 9s. Okay, now we could also do this using StatCrunch. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to open this up into StatCrunch. Okay, and so we're going to title this the number of grams of fat in breakfast meals. So we're going to put this at the top, and it's going to be the number of grams of fat in breakfast meals. Okay, so there's our title. Now we want to be able to create a stem and leaf plot. So we're going to go to Graph, and then scroll down here to where it says Stem and Leaf. Okay, now we're going to select our column, the number of grams of fat in breakfast meals. And now what we want to do is we're going to come down here and where it says leaf unit. What we want to do is we need to determine, okay, which leaf unit that we want to pick. Well, as you can see here, all these numbers go to a 1 digit. So therefore, we're starting with a 1 digit. We don't want to go any further than that. So we're going to start here at the 1 digit and then select compute. Now I want you to notice here that when it gives you the output, it gives you 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4. They just don't write them all on one line. So if you see here, we have 2, 7, 8, 9, 9. Well, then for 1, you're going to have what? 0, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4. So 0, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, because again, that represents 10, 11, 13, 13, 14, 14. And then the other one is 5 and 8. So we're putting that 5 and 8, so that represents 15 and 18. Okay. Next, we're looking at the numbers that start with a 2. So if we look at the numbers that start with a 2, well, that means we have a 0, 2, 2. So we have a 0, a 2, and another 2, because that represents 20, 22, and then 22. And then if we keep going on the next line, we have a 6 and an 8. So we have a 26, and then we also have a 28. Next we have 3 as the leftmost digit there. So we have 3, and you can see here that we have 34. So we have a 4, that's the 4. Okay, and then we have 2 7s, so that's going to represent a 37 here and another 7 there, so that's going to be a 7, and then a 7. And then the last one has a left digit of 4 here, and so we have a 2, so we have 2 here, so that represents 2. And then there is our answer. Okay, so that's either by using StatCrunch or by hand. Now again, if you're using StatCrunch, you got to be careful of the place value when you're doing that. Now we need to determine what is the distribution of this. Okay, now if I turn this around and I rotate it, so if I start here and it increases and then it decreases and then it tails off here. Okay, if I rotated that, you're going to see what happens. So let me go ahead and do that for you. So I'm going to copy this into my screen. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this to the left. And the reason why I do that is because I want to see what the distribution looks like. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to draw a bell curve, okay, with this data. So you can see here that it starts up really high and it keeps going higher. And then as you can see, it starts tailing off to the right. So then what does that tell us? That tells us that this is skewed right. So now the distribution is skewed right, and there is our answer.